Hi, my name is Eddie Moreno. I'm with the commercial division of Century 21 Desert Rock. If you're watching this, it's because you've probably received one of my investor update letters. Either way, thanks for stopping by. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the state of real estate and in general, and in particular, what we have going on in the high desert with regards to the smaller multifamily properties. So I want to talk about a couple things that might be a concern for those of us who currently own multifamily, as well as those who might be interested in investing coming in the future. So first, let's talk about the state of our extremely hot single-family residence market, which is what everybody's talking about. Lots of talk about a bubble, real estate bubble, the effect of rising inflation, the potential for the increase in rates, all those things. We've all been hearing that on the news. And I mean, it's a reality. If inflation continues to rise, there's a chance that we could have an increase in rates, which of course will have an inverse reaction on our property value prices, and we could have a decrease in property values. So, looking at it from an economic perspective, yeah, that's a distinct possibility. However, we also have to look at what the market's doing. And if you consider the fact for the week of July 5th through the 11th, we had a total of approximately 611 homes, single-family residences, on the MLS, or multiple listing service. Well, normally at this time of year, we've got 1,200. So we are half where we traditionally are. And it's been worse. We've had even as low as 400 on our multiple listing service. So what we've got is an issue of supply and demand. So yeah, is it possible that an increase in rates might have a negative impact on the value of our properties? That's possible, but we're not just dealing with that issue of a low rate. We're also dealing with the fact that we don't have enough inventory. So as a result of that, we've got these overinflated prices, very hot market, short days on market, multiple offers, etc. So, but if we look at that, how does that affect the market that we're in, the market of small multifamily properties? Well, here's kind of my thoughts on it based on my experience. This shortage of single-family residences has definitely impacted our market because buyers are getting creative. Okay, they want to find properties that they can live in, and if the traditional house or home is not available to them, they're starting to look at multifamily properties. I've had a number of buyers come to me and say, I'd like to buy a duplex or a fourplex or triplex, and I want to live in one and rent the rest out, which I think is an excellent way to get into the market, by the way. A great way to get into the space. But a number of people looking at that because the situation with the shortage of housing has caused our buyers to get much more creative. In addition, I've had people come to me about work-live spaces where they buy a commercial property, they operate their business out of it, but they also live there. And not the same as a home-based business, but very similar. So we've got buyers that are moving into this space just because they need a place to live. Secondly, you've got investors coming from down the hill. Okay, they've got 1031 exchange money. Maybe they sold their single-family residence down in LA. They're coming up and looking to invest money. And as a result, they get into our market. And of course, our single-family residence market is tight, inventory's low. So they naturally gravitate to our multifamily market, which, price-wise is usually a better deal than you can get off the hill. And finally, you've got a bunch of new investors coming in who are excited and been listening to what everybody's talking about with regards to real estate being a great investment vehicle, and they want to participate. So all of these forces are coming together. They're creating the situation where we've got a very low inventory of these smaller multifamily properties, and the values are coming up, right? So the bottom line is if you're interested or thinking about selling or have been thinking about selling, now's an excellent time. And this market could run on longer. Of course, it could end sooner. We just don't know. But if this is something that you're interested in, now's a good time. Now, something that's been on a lot of people's minds, and I've had a lot of phone calls about, is the eviction moratorium. If you remember correctly, at the end of June, we had the CDC extended the eviction moratorium to the end of July. A couple of days later, the Supreme Court steps in and says, hey, CDC overstepped their bounds. We're going to end this moratorium. But they didn't end it right away. They let it expire naturally at the end of July. So although we didn't get the relief that we wanted from the moratorium ending sooner, we're pretty well assured that it's not going to renew. Someone's not going to try and extend it. Now, barring some unforeseen circumstance or executive order or whatever, mask mandate is back in LA County, so you just don't know. But other than that, we're pretty confident that we shouldn't see an extension of that, and we can start dealing with the aftermath of what the eviction moratorium has done to those of us who own these small multifamily properties. So that's something that we're going to have to stay tuned for and just kind of keep an eye out, and I'll keep you posted this way if anything were to occur. But I got a lot of questions about how this affects the value of your properties. And my answer to this is, it depends. We have sold properties that have tenants in them who have not paid, and we've sold them at full value. Just as we've sold properties to owner-occupied people that are looking to purchase multifamilies. So just because you've got tenants who have not paid or taking advantage of the eviction moratorium doesn't necessarily mean it's going to negatively affect your property value. Okay, this is something that the market is accommodating right now. It's used to, and as long as it's well positioned and we can well document it, we should be fine. So don't get discouraged. Don't be thinking just because you've got that issue going on that there's no value to your property. We kind of deal with it on a case-by-case basis. If you've got a property in that situation, or if you have any property that you're interested in selling, you need to get a value, you need some recommendations or some guidance, call me. I'm happy to talk to anybody. Any of you that are on my list, I'm very happy to meet with you and speak with you. And it may not be as bad as you think, and maybe we can figure out a way to get you either out of your property or into another one. But just call me, and those are things we can talk about. Anyway, that's about all the time I have for today. I really appreciate you stopping by. My number should be at the bottom of the screen. Call me anytime. Good luck, good investing, stay healthy, and see you next time.